Happy Friday the 13th to everybody. I hope you are wearing something red, thinking of something red, drinking something red, because we always remember everyone deployed, RED. On Fridays, we're grateful for our military servicemen and women and their families. You guys grab a drink. It's happy hour. We've got to join Westwood in his bar and talk some bar talk. What in the world is going on? Is it World War III? I don't even know. Surely not. Let's see what Westwood's drinking right after this. Happy Friday, Westwood.
Happy Friday the 13th. Do you know where your black cat is? Especially if you're in Ohio.
Okay, the whole thing, first of all, I thought it was a joke. Then I started seeing these horrific videos. I think they are trying to wake people up about the whole adrenochrome thing, because they're showing these horrible videos of, and I was going to show it because I was like, oh, people need to see this.
Search it up.
But you can all search it up, and they are like cutting little kitties' necks while they're live, and they're screaming, and they're sucking their blood
like vampires,
their neck, while the cat is screaming and making that horrible noise.
Tails wagging, and it's brutal. But they're don't think that doesn't happen, though. I mean, it happens, and there's the evidence, there's the proof. I mean, we know it happens.
Okay, let's also remember this is all around Haiti.
That's a different culture.
Okay, but what's the significance of Haiti? Who had their honeymoon? How many people have their honeymoon in Haiti?
I don't know. Maybe some Clintons.
The Clintons?
Slick Willie and which lady? I don't know what she is. Which lady? Yeah, with him. Which lady is it?
Which lady? Is she even a lady? I don't
know. See, here's the thing. 2 weeks ago, we got another strike, at least on mine. I don't know what it was. Not a strike, but a, what do they call it? Copyright infringement. Every time I do a little song, a little jingle, I get a copyright infringement on the video that posts on my channel. I don't know about yours.
I don't even look
at it. I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. So I was going to sing Witchy Woman, but, I'm not going to do it now.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Here's my
thing. A little tune.
So I had like, oh, yeah, we're going to do this channel, and we're going to make all this money on YouTube. And I was like, oh, you don't make money on YouTube.
Don't say $1.
I was like, and she was like, oh yeah. I said, no, I've been doing YouTube for how long have we been doing this? Over 5 years. I made, I think 8. They sent me a thing saying they paid me $850. I can't find it in my bank account, but they
like over the 5-year period.
Maybe. And I was like, So if you guys want to support my work, I would really appreciate any kind of donation through Patreon. I'm thinking about doing like a I'm thinking about like it might be fun to do like a after happy hour, do like a live where we can like do like a happy hour
like a video spaces.
Like a video spaces after happy hour and before spaces.
Oh Lord, triple time.
For like, $10 a month or something.
Me.
What do you think?
I'd have to hold back on spaces then. I'd have to save some juicy stuff for the pre-spaces.
For pre-spaces. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't either. I really don't. Just put your QR code up and I'll send you some donations. How's that? Just throw a Litecoin code up there and let them donate if you want. See, Jim Montgomery just blasted it.
Oh, Jim Montgomery.
You put the QR code up. He'll send Litecoin. I'll be like, the Litecoin next, Kaiser. Just put the QR code up, send it.
I appreciate it. But see, when you send it through, and I do appreciate it, it's very generous. But like when you send it through, who
But these
tubes, they
vampires take a cut. They take their blood, take their
take
pound of flesh.
chunk. Yeah.
The Merchant of Venice. Isn't that what it was?
I do appreciate, and Jim is one of my Patreon supporters. I am very grateful. Thank you so much.
Hit that thumbs up. Hit the like button and subscribe.
Hit the thumbs up. Hit the likes. We like all that. Thank you so much.
Very good. Get 1 for cats, 2 for dogs. What's your preference?
And please don't eat any of them.
1 or 2. 1 for cats, 2 for dogs. Which is it? Hit it. Roll.
Did you also hear this news where there's supposed to be a big announcement this weekend that Kamala got her all the questions fed to her?
What?
Yes. And that that she was not going to be fact checked, but that Trump was going to be fact checked, and that he did not have the questions fed to him. She was also very much channeling Obama or bomb droner. What is
Obama?
What does Berwick call him?
I don't know.
He calls him like bomb droner or drone.
Probably Obama droner.
Or something like that.
Something. I don't know.
Something like that.
PlayStation.
There's a whistleblower that's supposed to come out this weekend. It's been like unofficially announced so far, but no proofs so far.
Well, you look at this whole debate thing, and at first, when you look at it, it wasn't a great performance by Trump. It really wasn't. Kamala, it's just, the whole thing is just kind of meh. Yeah, but then afterwards,
her mannerisms and her intonation,
her face, and almost wanting to laugh all the time and cackle. I'm like, this is not the appropriate time.
But she's
talking about people dying.
Her intonation and her
cattiness or
dialect was mimicking Obama.
Yeah. There's a couple other people that do that too. I can't remember who it was. Somebody at the convention, the Democratic convention. I'm like, this sounds just like Obama. It's the same cadence,
It's that guy that he's like, oh gosh, they were going to make him Speaker of the House. Oh gosh, I'm totally blanking on him. He's kind of a bigger.
Hakeem Jeffries?
Yes.
He's the one that's like for the Democrat leader of the House, that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Hakeem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of them have kind of, I don't know, maybe they got the same DNA somehow. Who knows anymore, all the stuff that goes on. But it's, a lot of them do have that cadence. I noticed that, they'll speak with the intonations and the cadence that Obama had. And I see the people doing it. And, if you're around somebody, like if you're around people with a British accent, pretty soon you're picking up on the stuff. Or a Southern accent. I walk away from the Litecoin Summit, I feel like I'm talking to like Parker. You kind of, you pick up on the stuff, and and so I think they've been hanging around Obama. Maybe he's still in the wings somewhere, and influencing things. Who knows? It's going down for real. But anyway, the whole meme thing coming out of this, what a disaster for Kamala and the Democratic side, because they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the pets, and then now, they got videos, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dog, and it's just like, it's such a big push now that everybody's looking at this. You got people on the streets, like real people reporting from Springfield, Ohio. Isn't that where it is? Yeah, Springfield, Ohio, and which is between Dayton and Columbus or Cincinnati or somewhere, Cincinnati area. But anyway, it's people are looking at this stuff and looking into it, and the real, just like a few years back, some of the city council people, maybe the mayor, I don't know, some of the elected officials took trips to Haiti. And so you're like, wait a minute, are they getting paid to bring these people in now? And then, you see what happens. They drive up the price of the housing because it's 50% increase in people. So you're kicking all the poor people out, that used to be able to afford the place. And now they got nowhere to stay because landlords are renting it to the Haitians. Are they paying for it, or is the government paying for it? Artificially inflating the price, giving them food, giving them stamps. Every one of them that I saw interviewed, they're dressed really nice.
The Ohio mayor or governor, I can't remember which one, supposedly, and I can look on my Twitter real quick, supposedly just got back from, or has, gosh, where is it? the Ohio, where is it?
The governor would be Mike
Is
DeWeiner.
it the governor
I
that
don't know if it's him.
went to Haiti and has, oh, here's Mayor of Springfield, Ohio, has multiple trips to, let me share this with you guys so you guys can see
Because
this.
it's such a wonderful, destination, as far as vacations.
The mayor of Springfield, Ohio, has made multiple trips to Haiti. He and the entire city council received financial kickbacks,
And there you go.
reporting 20,000 illegal aliens. Is that
See,
why they?
Yeah, that's why. Oh, we've heard nothing about
Please.
this, and they don't want to talk about it. No call any attention to it. And I mean, it's just once again one big grift. And when you've got unlimited money, this is what happens. It happens all over the place. And now, hey, spotlight on that. Hey, guess what? It's not just there. It's everywhere. It's like Dr. Seuss book. Cat in the Hat. Cat in the lunchbox. I don't know. Yeah, it's called a lot of attention to it, and that's what I like. Definitely doing that. People are looking at it now, and it's not just the cats and the dog thing. It's the whole problem itself. When you have a town of 45,000 people and 20,000 people from another country come in that really don't speak the language and have a completely different culture, and they want your house and they want your services, and all the people can't get services now because they're waiting in line. I mean, one of the resource officer, I guess it was, or the guy there standing at the public aid, he was interviewed by a local guy, just showed up and interviewed people, not the press that's owned by the vampires. No, we don't want to do that. No, just some guy asking questions. He says, so what, of the people applying for benefits, what's the ratio? And he said about 9-1, 9 Haitians to 1 citizen. I mean, unbelievable. And now the schools have had to hire language resource people. English is a second language for people that are coming into the schools. They've had to hire, the budget for the hospitals. I think just for translators or the language went from like $43,000 a year to $436,000 a year, a tenfold increase. I mean, you can't afford this. I mean, it's such a strain on society and on the local economy. It can't happen. But guess what happens? It's just like the John Perkins model, Economic Hitman book, to where you go over and you pay off a leader in an African country, and then you take all the resources and they get rich, but all the people suffer that live there. And it's the same model that they're using here. The people at the top get bought off. They let all the crap happen, and then F the people. Same old song and dance, but they're doing it here.
That's insane.
So how much are you willing to take, I guess, is what it comes down to. Anyway, yes, I did say cat in the lunchbox. Sorry.
There was another tweet that I tagged Paulie in that I wanted to ask him about, and I can see him in the chat. It was another accusation, because we don't know.
Truckers in Colorado getting hit up.
Truckers in Colorado, yes.
I did see that.
Paulie, did you see my tweet? Let me see if I can find it.
Mother truckers.
Mother. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I don't know if I can find it.
So happy Friday the 13th.
Happy Friday.
Everything's wonderful. Pour another drink.
Thank you to everybody who is retweeting and sharing and liking right now.
Showing up and being here.
All
right, waiting on Westwood. Proof of Westwood coming up.
Waiting on Westwood. Speaking of waiting on Westwood.
Waiting on a Westwood. Oh, baby. All right, what else we got going on, Lisa? You're looking for that. I think yesterday during Hash It Out, I didn't get to say it, but it went by. Black Tesla truck. I've never seen one in person, but I saw it go by. I felt the rumble.
Ugly.
And then it went by, and I'm like, like a freaking big tank. I just felt it. Really?
Really?
Pure black.
They don't make any noise. They're. What do you
It
mean?
sounded. I mean, it was the tires, I think.
Oh, the tires were shit.
Yeah, and they just recently did the rock on the road, so
it
it makes
looks
it
like a
noisier.
trash can. It also looked like an 80s trash can.
It does look like something out of the 80s.
Yes.
Like it's like a DeLorean on steroids.
No, I'm not impressed. It does not have good exhaust. It's mostly ugly. It has like a matte finish, and so like it just has fingerprints all over it. It's just
Not
shit.
like that fingerprint less refrigerator, right? Need that.
Ugly. I can't stand it.
All right. Well, now we know. But I did see it go by here out in the middle of cornfields.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the new CIA vehicle. But I'm bummed.
Oh, Polly, I cannot find your response.
Oh, he responded to it?
Well, I was hoping he did, but I can't find it. So I'm like,
okay. Yeah, the whole thing was that people, I don't know, somebody reported that, hey, truckers in Colorado somewhere at truck stops are getting hit up by bands of immigrants and saying, hey, you can park here for $50. If not, they're going to do some damage to your truck, basically. So that's going to happen if it doesn't happen. And if it isn't already happening, it will happen because that's just the natural.
Okay, I have met Polly P, and I can imagine that truckers are not going to tolerate that shit.
I wouldn't think so. Kind of like how many of them are there?
See, I got a thumbs up. And I'm thinking just like the how recently the God, what are they called? The Hells Angels were like, oh hell no. You're coming for my mama and her at her apartment complex. We're all rolling in.
Fake news.
Well, maybe it was fake news. Maybe it's not. Do we know?
No, there's no boots on the ground. No, we need roving reporters out there reporting on this stuff. Where are they?
But we all have iPhones or phones.
I agree. So everybody needs to be out doing what people are doing in Springfield, Ohio, getting out there and showing this stuff because that's what makes an impact.
And so I think it'll be like the trucker thing. Okay, here's the other thing. Remember who called out? Remember when Polly called out during
New York?
Was it New York?
I'm talking about New York.
When Polly called out, no, when the Canada thing. And Polly was like, hey, you guys remember when they said they were all that these truckers are all going to they're all going to maybe DC or something for some big rally. And they're all gonna, oh, the truckers are coming. The truckers are coming. And Polly's like, that's a bunch of shit.
Ain't no truckers coming.
He's like, did you see how that guy was sitting in the light? And he goes, you see when I'm filming in my truck and how my phone is and how the light hits me. And did you see how that guy has his glasses on? But it was this time of day. And he's like, that was a bunch of shit.
That was the guy that looked like Mitch, wasn't it, in the truck? I think he said something. He said, looks like you're Mitch driving in the truck. I think it was.
I don't know, but Polly called that out. And so that's where, like, when this thing came out where they were like, oh, these, these illegals are threatening truckers. And I'm like, oh, I dare you. I dare you to come after Polly and his trucker buddies.
Start it up and just start rolling.
That is their, and what Polly has said multiple times, he's like, look, that is their,
that's their domicile. That's their home.
That's their home. And that's their lifestyle. That's their
livelihood.
That's their money. You come after that, they're going to run you over. They're not going to let you threaten that. They're not a little bunch of pussy hat wearing people. You know what I mean? They're not afraid of that.
A bunch of Litecoin hat wearing people.
Yeah. They're not afraid of that.
Wait, hang on. I need to.
These people are hardcore. They're like they're driving the roads. They have committed to this lifestyle. They are, leaving their families for hours at a time to sacrifice to give their families better lives. You know what I mean? Like, they're not afraid of some immigrant who's threatening them for a toll to park somewhere. I don't believe that. I'm not buying that.
I'm not buying it either.
I'm
Just
not
saying.
buying it.
Just saying what was said. But it's going to happen. That kind of stuff will happen. They're going to try and shake people down because that's what's going to happen. Here, I mean, they're going to bring all these people in like they're doing now. They're going to give them all kinds of money, give them all the things they need, and think, oh, everything's fine. Then when they pull the rug on it, you got a bunch of roving bands out here that they're going to go get what they need. And now you got to deal with it. That's what's going to happen. That's the game. That's the whole thing. Bring enough of them in here and let's just start the war, baby.
Yeah, Paulie just parked. He's not afraid of anyone.
Bunch of psychos running things.
Him from barking.
Vampires.
I'm just saying. Anyway, the world is crazy right now. Do you see Putin saying, "Hey,
bring it. Don't sing it."
So, Uncle Cliff, I do want to share this. Was noticing that yesterday there were helicopters flying. Hold on. Let me show you guys this. Wait. Where is it? Oh God, there's that little cat video. Okay, hold on. I will not show you guys. Just, ugh. You guys can go on my Twitter and see the horrible cat video. I just cannot show that. Okay, brutal. All kinds of military. This is 8 hours ago. Military aircraft here along the coast of Washington State yesterday that extended late into the evening. Large jets, fighter jets, Chinook, which is helicopters, attack helicopters right up to about 7 p.m. So this is last night. I wonder. And then there's this article that says M2.7 other event. So they're talking about this other event. Explosion in Washington State. Message to U.S. Device passed right over Naval Base Bremerton. Was this a message to the U.S.? 9:12 UTC this morning. Word is this other event was an explosion, possibly of a hypersonic missile sent as a message to United States.
Rocket Man.
So keep this in mind. Then I want to also show you.
That's some Johnny Litecoin stuff going on there.
Okay, so then they're also saying like nuclear war, emergency alert. White House set to its massive bombing campaign in Russia as early as this weekend. But Vladimir Putin says it will officially constitute a declaration of war by the United States and NATO. Then there's also, where's the one from the Polish? The Polish guys were like, get the hell out. They were wanting, what's his name to get out?
Blinken. Don't be blinking while you're on your way out. Keep your eyes wide open.
Blinken, yes. They were like, get out.
Stinking Blinken.
Polish people are concerned the USA, yes, they're afraid that the USA under Biden, Kamala, is about to start World War III. Polish MEP Braun on Anthony Blinken visiting Poland today. Blinken, go home as soon as possible. Get lost. We don't want you here. We don't want Polish people paying and dying for your wars. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, it is Friday the 13th.
I love those Poles. Gotta love those Poles. Mm-hmm.
You gotta say, the most beautiful women in the world.
Absolutely.
I'm a little biased. What is happening, Westwood?
It's all coming down, baby. We're watching the end of the act, into the last act in the play. It's happening. Mm-hmm. What did Laura Loomer? I don't even think what you want of her, but what did she post today? About the whole Biden thing. there's a side-by-side video to where you got Biden saying this whole thing. Biden is totally on script at this point. He's on one video. He says, Trump talking about black jobs. What kind of guy is this? That tells you a lot about who he is. And then here, like yesterday or some other, recently, hey, we've created 2.5 million black jobs. Black jobs. Yeah, that's right. I'm like, what? This is Biden. And then Biden wearing the hat. You saw him the other day? Putting the hat on, putting the MAGA hat on. Right after, like the day after, Trump says, she's saying everything I'm saying. I was about to send her a MAGA hat. And the next day, here's Biden putting the MAGA hat on. And during the speech also, or the debate also, Trump says, let me just tell you, Biden doesn't like her. And I'm like, this is all like coming together. This is all scripted. This is all coming together. The next day, he puts the MAGA hat on. I'm like, what the frick? And then he's carrying the MAGA hat in his hand, red hat up to Air Force Farce 2, 3, whatever he gets on. Oh, man, this is a movie, man.
It is a movie. It's insane.
I don't know who's directing it, but it's definitely a movie. Get your popcorn. Mitch said, we're running out of popcorn. You need more popcorn. I'm just telling you, stock up on popcorn. You're going to need a lot more. Got my popcorn bag. In my currently nicotine-stained fingers, a popcorn bag. All right. And my Lambo, this dog tore up. Doorless Lambo.
Got two.
Lambo right here.
So if you need an extra.
I got Lambos everywhere in this place.
I got dose.
It'll be a Lambo graveyard.
Now there's cats with their heads torn off in Houston. So, Lord.
Help control. I just remember Bob Barker. Help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. Help control the pet population. Have a Haitian show up in your neighborhood. No, I'm just kidding. I just, I'm at a bar drinking. I mean, I shouldn't even be live. Seriously, not right.
Joe really hates Kamala. Look there, he's got another hat, another red one. Back at it again. Oh,
is this mic on? We need a laugh track in the background. Come on.
It's so insane. And the whole like giving illegal aliens $150,000 and this whole the other thing where people are talking about like the where oh God, what's it called? Where the unrealized gains or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So they have BlackRock and all this have pumped up housing prices. And people are like, so they have this false sense of, okay, yes, we have inflation, but I feel like I'm okay because my house price is so high.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, but I'm okay because my house price is so high. And so they have this false sense of security. But if then she's voted in, then you have to pay what's called unrealized gains, which means you didn't sell your house, but you have to pay the taxes on what you did not sell your house for.
Right.
So,
and I think, right now, as the statute is, which is completely ridiculous, but anyway, what was it? Taxpayers, the $1 trillion are missing, from the IRS because $1 trillion of tax money is going uncollected. But anyway, that's another issue. But you think about housing, I think you can sell a house, what is it, up to, is it $500,000 and not have to pay any capital gains on it? Something, I don't know. I don't have a house that's worth that much. But there is a limit now to where you don't get taxed on it. But I imagine that would go away to where, like you said, you buy a house for, if you can find one, for $200,000. And then it goes up to $300,000 in value. And it's like, well, this year you made $100,000, so we got to tax you $100,000 extra gain, And they do this every year. If it keeps going up, yeah, they'll do that every year. I heard them talking about it on the financial shows, and they're just like, there's no way. It's a complete mess. It can't happen. It's just a nightmare for the financial markets. And it is. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's not a gain. It's that's an oxymoron. Unrealized gain.
It is an oxymoron.
It's a paradox. It's like
unrealized tax and an unrealized
wait a minute. Yeah, it's like I gained, but I didn't gain.
taxed on something that you never received.
Right.
Insane.
But you might have, and we're making sure just in case you did, but didn't. It's like that's just ain't gonna, can't happen.
It's completely insane.
Hey, but if you work overtime, baby, it's gonna be untaxed after 40 hours. No taxes on tips. I mean, you kind of see, and you mentioned this a few weeks ago.
Up to 40 hours if no taxes.
Well, exactly. You meant exactly. The precedent, the groundwork is being laid, and I think you talked about that a few weeks ago, to where it's like the messaging is going out that taxes really aren't that good. That, maybe we shouldn't be paying all this. And so, as that catches on, people are gonna say, well, yeah, why am I paying taxes on the first 40? Why am I getting robbed out of this amount? So things are changing. We'll see how they change. But there's definitely people are getting in a different mindset about how things work and what's really happening. And so, I mean, once that happens, it's like I don't think anybody can kind of control the mass of the population if the mindset changes. You know what I mean? If the paradigm shifts in the mind of the people, government's just kind of, what do we need these guys for? What do they do for us? We just had 9/11, Rumsfeld, $2.3 trillion the day before. Well, we can't find it. $2.3 trillion in 2001 was a lot of money. The Pentagon lost, just the Pentagon. And then
but they've forgotten about that.
Went away.
Two towers came. 9/11, and people were talking about the Twin Towers falling. They even remembered the Pentagon being hit. They even remembered the extra plane falling in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
but
Shanksville.
No one was talking about Building 7.
See, that is the smoking gun of the whole thing, that I'm just like, okay, this is all rigged. And the reason why is because it was so dangerous. The owner, Larry Silverstein, so dangerous. In an interview afterwards, so much damage and so much harm and loss of life that day. We decided to pull it. What do you mean? You decided that day to pull Building 7, to pull it in a controlled demolition that takes how many weeks to set up and do right? And then it just comes down like a pancake, a controlled demolition like you see in Vegas. How would they do that on that one day if it weren't pre-done? Right. And so that's a smoking gun. And then what was in there, what files, just like the Oklahoma City building, Murrah building, what files were in there that got destroyed?
Again, all goes back to Haiti and the Clintons. Here's something else. I thought this was interesting.
Somebody comes over and punch him out. This is why I'm waiting for this. For trespassing on the Capitol grounds. I'm going to punch him out. I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to be happy.
I've been waiting for this.
She said I've been
trespassing on Capitol grounds.
Let me play it again. She says that.
Somebody comes over and punch him out. This is why I'm waiting for this. For trespassing. The trespassing.
I've been waiting for this.
She calls
I'm going to punch him out.
Waiting for this trespassing on the Capitol.
I'm going to go to jail, and I'm
been waiting for this. Why did you request?
Somebody comes over and punch him out. This is why I'm waiting for this. For trespassing on the Capitol grounds. I'm going to punch him out, and I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to be happy.
I've been waiting
Good.
for
She
this.
said I've been
trespassing on
Let
Capitol
me
grounds.
play it again. She says that.
her way to jail since she's happy.
Well, because the whole thing was set up, and she was hoping that he would march with them to the Capitol and go into the Capitol, because that was the plan, to allow all this to happen. And that's why, she didn't want the National Guard sent in, even though he said, hey, I can send in 10,000 troops to help. There might be a problem. Just saying, no, we got this, because she was in charge of the Capitol Police, right?
Yep.
Oh, we got this. We don't need your help. No, because they wanted it to happen. Problem, reaction, solution. Get all these people in, let them all in. You see the videos of the police officers and the fake police officers, the 3-letter agencies, that are all dressed up, letting the people in, letting them come in. They were hoping Trump would come in too, because then, there you go. It fulfills her dream, what she's been waiting for. But it didn't happen, did it?
It didn't.
No. Huh. Bringing the hammer, for real, right?
Show the proof.
Bring the hammer.
Yeah. These evil people.
It's hammer time. Can't touch this.
I cannot.
Nope. You got to strike.
Here's the other thing that, this
Probably
shows,
good.
if you wonder what's really happening in the world versus what the media is showing you. So here's Biden and Harris walking in.
Not a peep.
people's response. You wonder who's winning.
There he is.
There he is. You're like, there he is. I mean, what a difference.
And there's the champ. So when people try to tell you that 50% or that people love Kamala, like bullshit.
Awkward silence. Walks in, there's awkward silence. He comes in, it's just a whole different vibe, whole different energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There he is.
In the same video at Shanksville with Biden putting a hat on, I think that was the same place, the firehouse, wasn't it?
Well, maybe. Was that where that was?
Mm-hmm. 3 years prior, in November 5th. Remember the 5th of November. I can't get it out of my mind. No, on September 11th, 2021, at that same firehouse, that's when Biden took pictures and all the kids, they had MAGA shirts on and Make America Great and Trump shirts on. He's taking pictures with them. And then 3 years later at the same place, he puts the hat on. He puts the MAGA hat on. I mean, the guy's like, put it on. You hear him yelling. He's bantering with the guy down there, and he puts the hat on, 3 years to the day. I mean, we're going to look back and say, wow, how did you people not realize this was all a big show? Because it is.
What do you think about Elon posting this yesterday? The Department of Government Efficiency. Doge.
Oh, you mean that coin that runs on the same network that Litecoin does?
Yes.
Yeah.
That also secures Litecoin. That will secure Litecoin
forever. Forever.
Perpetuity.
Yeah. That tail emission, that when Litecoin's mined out, that's the big concern with Bitcoin and proof of work coins.
Yeah.
When there's no mining reward, like right now with Bitcoin, every block you get like 3.125, Litecoin, I think 6.25. It halves that reward every 4 years. And the fear is at some point, what happens if it's all mined out and all 21 million Bitcoin are mined out? How are we going to make money as miners? Well, we're going to have to make it on transaction fees. Well, with Litecoin, the question's not there because you're still mining Dogecoin because it's merge mined. So Litecoin, all 84 million can be mined out in 100 years, but you still got Dogecoin going on at 10,000 Dogecoin per block that the miners, it's incentive to run rather than just on transaction fees. So Doge and Litecoin, baby. If Elon's talking about Doge, I mean, that just strengthens the whole network. And I mean, what's the commodity? What's the silver that's on that network? It's Litecoin because there's only 84 million that can exist.
Department
I'm just saying.
Efficiency.
Might want to look at Litecoin.
I love it. Oh, so much stuff.
And why are there's I don't know how many wallets there are. If you look at the blockchain, there's I don't know, it's 21, 22, it's like between 21 and 25 individual wallets that hold 300,000 Litecoin each. What is that? And people have speculated, well, that's how many countries, and I don't know how many there are in the European Union. Does every country have 300,000 Litecoin? Do they know something? I don't know if that's it. That's speculation, but there are at least 21 big players that each hold, maybe it's one person splitting it up with 300,000 in each. That's a big player. But I mean, that many wallets with exactly 300,000 Litecoin that doesn't move? 6 million. Who knows this? Who knows something? That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the U.S. is going to try and go on to the Bitcoin standard, and all the BRICS nations are going to say, you know what? You got your Bitcoin. We're going to use Litecoin. I don't know. Maybe something like that happens.
I don't.
Who knows?
But, so the Constitution is actually written in silver, which would make sense that the U.S. chooses the Litecoin standard.
You would think.
You would think.
Maybe.
And Trump said the other day that, oh gosh, what is the word? And I'm totally blanking. Help me with this. That, oh gosh, that we were going to use a, oh
All
my
kinds of
gosh.
shenanigans going in the bar here.
Oh no. Keep your
Anyway,
shenanigans to yourself.
I know. Keep your shenanigans in there.
What is
There's a
the
big
word?
shenanigan there.
It's oh gosh, it's the word that you it's the word that you use for like common law. A
Okay.
what is it where you have a
Trust,
it's kind of like in trust law.
covenant, a trust, a.
Damn it.
I'm not sure. I'm not getting it. Where's Cryptoshi? Not a FOMO when you need
Yeah,
him.
where's not a FOMO when you need him?
AKA Zoid
You
Soft.
work in or you trade in shit. Oh god.
I don't know.
When you
Forgotten
work
more than
in,
I ever
or
learned.
you trade in
Specie?
no, not conjunct. I want to say it starts with an M. Like
Drawing a blank. Let me get that mayonnaise jar where it's hermetically sealed, and I'll pull it out, and it'll be the great Karnak will have the answer.
oh my gosh, you guys, I'm drawing a total blank. We're not in equity with each other, but we are like if we were gonna be trading with each other.
I don't know.
That's
It's not
like
there.
maritime law.
The word bank's empty. I didn't get these questions beforehand like Kamala did.
Dang it.
So,
Oh
working
no.
with what I got here. It's not a lot.
Okay, we'll have to move on and I'll come back to it.
Next.
Meritocracy.
Meritocracy. Based on your merits.
Based
And what
on
you
your
put forth
Yeah.
into the system, you
It
get
is
rewarded for that.
meritocracy or meritocratic, or is that a word? Not meritocratic.
Well, you can make it a word. Why not?
Trump was speaking the other day and he said we're going to move to a what was his exact quote?
A meritocracy. So,
He did not say that. Lord.
meritocracy. I don't know. I didn't see it.
Meritocracy. He said
Maybe that's what it is.
Trump.
You're paid for what you're worth. Your own merits. Then you can get demerits. You know, there's a lot of demerits to be handed out, that's for sure. Jeez.
Elon, meritocracy. I'm not finding the quote. I voted on.
That must be it.
I'm not.
I am said, oh, meritocracy. So maybe that's it.
It is something about meritocracy, but he made some quote about moving to a form of meritocracy, and I can't find it now, but anyway, that is moving us into the common law and out of maritime law, which is the corruption that we've been
Basically, a
in for so
slave
long.
system, a feudal system, a freaking vampire casino system. Jeez, where you got a few people that basically we're all chattel, and they run the plantation, I guess.
And the meritocracy stuff, which I'm sorry, Bix, I'm sure you're not watching this, but that is part of like the whole Nasara Jacera stuff.
Well, you can
Or
call it
parts
whatever you
of it.
want.
I know,
But I do have some Road to Ruta books.
it is very much part of the Road to Ruta story, and going into like, well, what did you pay in? And like when you read the Road to Ruta story from the
Right.
the comic books, Wishes and Rainbows, you guys can see over right here. Right there.
I didn't tell anybody, but I did get some of those off eBay at a pretty good price. I just need a signature
really?
now. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have the
I'll get
one that
some
Amy
good
and Bix
auction items.
donated for the nonprofit, and then it kept getting donated back. But the story talks about how like at the end, it's about like, well, so there's not deciders. Bix is always really very adamant about. There's not deciders, but it's also about like there's it's almost like the seeds of the flower or something, these drops that it's like, well, who
The black drops.
the
It
black
was
drop
oil, I think, represented oil in the past. And then,
kind of the energy
the energy.
that was put into the system, which would have been like, and it was given out to the elders first, which were the people that gave into the system first.
Mhm.
And
Because
so
they put their work into it more than everybody else did. And so, we're going to collapse the system. And guess what? That Social Security that you paid into that you thought you were going to have is gone. Well, now we have to have a different system to where how are we going to spread the wealth? And so that was the concept in the book. It's like, well, these people have worked their whole lives and put in a lot of energy into the system. So they need to, be rewarded
what's
first.
really interesting is that Reggie has been working on a system that is proof of effort.
Proof of merit.
Which would be a meritocracy.
Effort, proof of work kind of thing. Yeah.
Effort, proof of work.
Well, here's the thing, though. There's work, and then there's actual work that accomplishes things. Because
Right.
Some people will go and, well, I put my 40 hours in. And they'll hang around and take
Right.
time. Oh, I got my 40 hours, and it's like, okay, somebody comes in and
But if you're
10 hours worth of work, but I'm worth 4 times as much because of what I did. So you got to look at it that way too.
But if your
More merit.
peer, but if you produce something,
Right.
okay, so I'm sorry. I think Reggie calls it proof of productive effort.
There you go. That's good.
Proof of
Because
productive effort.
There's effort, and then there's actually productive effort.
Yeah, proof of productive effort.
Yes,
And
it's a good distinction.
and that is what benefits the community. And then the
Absolutely.
whole
Well,
community is more because of that.
Yep.
You know?
And so I look at people who are artists that were like, they don't do anything, and then it's like I was listening to a song. What was it? I was watching Elon's, the spacewalk, first commercial spacewalk. It was the Polaris experiment or whatever it was. And they had this song that they were playing. They had these different musicians in different parts of the world, and they were all streaming it through Starlink. And I mean, I was just like almost in tears because I'm like, man, the beauty of the music, and just what they're doing and all of this. And to me, I thought, what a great society to have, that kind of relationship with humanity, I guess, just the efforts of humanity and just creating this beautiful thing that moves you. I mean, there's something to be said about that and something to be said about the arts. The arts are very important. And I think a lot of times that gets lost. Music and artwork, that you actually, music is art, but I mean, paintings and things that inspire people and make people feel better. I mean, how many people are depressed now and what do you do? Pop a pill. And it's just like, if we had a society where we all lifted each other up and inspired each other through our works and, our merits, I mean, those people need to be rewarded. I mean, we need to start rewarding the things that are right rather than, hey, what's the most deadly bomb we can make? Okay, we'll pay $1 million for that missile. I mean, give me a break.
Mm-mm.
But that's where we're at now. We need to transform a little bit and wake up.
Yeah. Well, and
Transition.
I do all this, antique thrift, finding all this beautiful stuff. We've been digging through, like,
What do you mean? You found a bunch of mirrors? Is that what you're saying?
I found some mirrors,
Oh, okay.
but I also found some other things like, I don't know, but some pottery, different stuff. And it's like, wow. I mean, if people were encouraged to create beautiful things again in America, not just like forget IKEA. Like, I mean, if we went back to making beautiful, Charlie found this beautiful Danish rocking chair in his mother's attic. And the thing is built like, I mean, it is just solid and
Like a
gorgeous.
Sasquatch.
Built like a Sasquatch, and it's probably over 100 years old. And I was like, man, if we were making furniture like that in America again,
We'd still be rocking in the free world.
Danish,
right?
but you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it's really encouraging. It's exciting to watch, like, beautiful things being made. I have a friend that he actually went to Le Cordon Bleu to become a chef and whatever.
Chef.
And now he's making pottery in Guthrie, and now he's making pottery in Guthrie, which was our state capital, our first original state capital. And he's now making beautiful pottery. And he posted on Facebook, and everybody's looking at it, and people are starting to follow him. And I'm just encouraging him like crazy because he's doing different glazes and creating different stuff. And I'm like, yes, do all those things, like make beautiful things again. Like, I don't know. It's exciting. And to encourage people to be creative, encourage people to like, I don't know, do all those things. I think that's,
Whatsoever thine hand findeth to do, do it with all thy might.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I
I mean,
love it.
that's just put your energy out there, put your whole effort, and just create beautiful things. Yeah, I mean, make the world a beautiful place.
Yeah. And whether that's, you love to raise chickens. And so raise chickens
Raise the most beautiful chickens and the most beautiful eggs.
and make, and then share that in the community. And then we have that barter system, and then we can get rid of all this middleman third party stuff. Like, do what you love to do. There's that video that when I first got into crypto, my friend Natalie Brunell, she introduced me to the Bitcoin Day people, and my friend Eric Norris, they introduced me to the Bitcoin Day people, and they had this video that was like the Bitcoin dream. And I can't remember, I don't know who put it out, but and it was like, well, what do you do when, because we have free money, or Bitcoin solves all the, fixes the broken money problem, what do you do? And people are just creating beautiful things. They're creating, they're raising chickens and creating art and doing all this beautiful stuff. And it's like humanity is released, and it's this really beautiful kind of free energy dream thing. I'll find the video, and I'll share it in the Telegram below. But it's a really cool kind of, utopian kind of dream thing. But they kind of share all this stuff where people are kind of creating their best self and sharing all the best parts of themselves. And I don't know if it's true, or if it's like, no, we'll have more time on our hands to work harder. I don't know.
I don't know if I quoted that correctly in the chat. Somebody can fact check me, but go look up John Keats' Ode on a Grecian Urn, the final 2 lines, stanza, whatever you want to call it. And that's what it is. Beauty is truth, truth, beauty. That is all you know on earth and all ye need to know. And that's really what it is. Those things that are beautiful are those things that hold truth with a capital T, real things, real truth, eternal truths. And, when it comes down to it, that's all you need to know, right? That's like the core, the essence of things. Those things that are truthful are beautiful. So if they're beautiful, they hold truth. John Keats, he died at like 24 years old. I think he drowned in a boating accident, lost all his Bitcoin. Crazy. Yeah. But romantic poets from England, I like those. Lord Byron, Percy Shelley. Husband of Mary Shelley Frankenstein, author.
Interesting.
Good stuff. John Keats. Go look up some John Keats. Ode on a Grecian Urn. Pretty good stuff.
Interesting. Hey, we're going to be at Westwood soon.
Speaking of beautiful things coming to truthful things.
Yes, I
The
can.
lovely Light Gwen Lisa is going to make an appearance. We're going to do a live happy hour on October 4th. Live. Together, or it might be a little chilly, so she'll be like sitting next to me, staying warm, because I'm like a furnace. I'm sweating right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. But we'll be live at a local bar. Everybody's going to be showing up, coming from all corners of the United States, from the left coast, from the right coast, Connecticut to California, from Puerto Rico to Michigan, Oklahoma to Ohio. All these people, all these beautiful souls come in.
All the things. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Yeah, we're coming in early and staying late, and really looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Check out
So-
clintwestwood.net, the big link at the top that has all the details for the meetup. You need to get there. It's free. Just show up. I mean,
Yep.
meet wonderful people, build networks, and, find some beauty, find some truth. That's all you need to know.
That is the thing.
Hardly wait. I love it. Everybody's excited. Got people coming from across the street, neighbor walking over from across the street.
Across the street, across the country, across the world.
Might not make
Hugs
it.
are free.
Yeah, I don't know if I can squeeze it in.
It's gonna be good. Oh my gosh.
You better. The medal's ordered.
Okay. The medal is ordered.
The medal is on
What does
order.
that mean?
For the pavilion.
Okay.
It's been
Good to
4
know.
years.
Um,
Got to get it done. Time is nigh.
okay. Good to know. Good to know. I'm really sorry. Hectic day this week. Not
I
good news.
missed it. What'd you say?
Whoop.
Broke up.
Oh, we're back.
Is Lisa freezing or is it just me? I think it's Lisa.
I said I missed hash. Oh gosh, my thing keeps glitching. I'm sorry. I missed hash it out yesterday. I apologize. And
It's all good. You had things going on.
things going on. I keep freezing up. I'm sorry. But we will do a live spaces tonight. I would like to know what everybody thinks about having so I have an ability. They have a new feature on StreamYard where I can do a webinar for up to 100 people where you guys can live chat and screen share and be chatting with us. So I can do that as a subscribership kind of thing. So let me know if that's something you would be interested in. I might open that up to my Patreon. Right now it's $20 a month. And let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I would really appreciate the support. And I could really use that right now. So let me know if you're interested in that. And then Westwood and I could jump on for some time after happy hour before. I'm going to drag Westwood into it. I'll split it with him though.
That's a common theme. Let's drag Westwood in.
I drag him
Westwood
around
loves it.
and into other things. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. And then we will jump on spaces later tonight. So do you have anything else, Westwood?
One of the few people who can drag Westwood somewhere.
I don't know.
Probably the only person. All right. Yeah. Let me look. Yeah, I had a bunch of stuff on the debate. It's irrelevant at this point, after a day.
I just feel like it was such a, she clearly got fed all the things. Nobody fact checked her. I thought it was kind of shitty that they fact checked Joe Biden so hard and then nobody.
You see how the narrative went. They wanted to get rid of him.
Yeah.
They wanted him out. So they kicked him out right after the debate. Oh, it's horrible. It's terrible. He's never going to recover. I've got phone calls and texts. Oh, people are wanting him gone. It was pretty obvious that was the play. I did have some things that Trump should have said at the debate, where she's saying, oh, well, you did this and you did that. And he should have said, she was talking about, well, I was a prosecutor. I did these things because, asking about all these, prostituter. And so she, yeah, exactly. But we're talking about, the question was, hey, you've been in charge. You're supposed to be the border czar. What happened? You got all these people coming in. And then she totally deflected. When I was in California, I prosecuted these people and that people. And Trump should have said, and how's California going? How'd you do? Something like that. He didn't. He should have been more comedic, I think. But, it all played out in his favor anyway. What have you been doing the last 3.5 years? Something like that. But when she's bragging about, I got Dick Cheney's endorsement, I got Liz Cheney's endorsement, I got people that used to work for the Bushes endorsement. He should have said, ladies and gentlemen, your deep state candidate endorsed by the establishment right here. I mean, because that's nothing to brag about, and he went a different direction, but I would have used humor on the whole thing and he made a big joke out of it because that's exactly what it is. And he says, well, I'm not going to take your guns. Tim and I both own guns. And I'm like, oh, come on. The only gun you own is a squirt gun. A little something about that, don't you, Kamala? Squirt gun.
And then they put a sign.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, he should have. Yeah, anyway, that's what I would have said. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, enough. I got other things. Might be going a little dark. Got to turn it into something humorous, and that's what this whole thing is after the fact. The memes, it's a big. People relate to that. People, the sound bites, those things. They remember Reagan when he said, "Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?" And then the other one, well, there you go again. I mean, it's just there's certain things you remember, and having those things that people can resonate with. It's just like, because you'd be in jail, things like that. When you do those things, people are like, the Joe Rogan moment. They always use that meme. Oh, you need some of those moments, I think, in these debates.
Tim's got moves though.
Oh yeah, look at that big boy.
Mm,
How you doing?
That's impressive. I'm just saying,
Timmy.
maybe he learned that from Kamala. You never know.
That guy's a wreck. I mean, you see his speeches and the places he goes, he's just like, what's he on? I mean, what kind of amphetamine is he like chewing on before he goes out on stage? Jeez.
Well, I
Goes
just
back and he uses a defibrillator.
I wonder who's playing him, or
Yeah,
is
right.
he playing? Is that part of like, some of them they like that's part of their thing.
They're like, no, I can do it. Trust me. I can do this.
They
I'll
have
do
to
it. I
play
got
their
this.
role.
I can overdo this. Trust me. I can overdo it. I got this. Like audition him,
I don't know. Poor Mark Weems is like, oh god.
Well, the real Tim Walz, please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. So no, that's the debate. It's like, yeah, it is what it is. And any news going on? I had a thought. Can you tax property tax? It's usually on the house that's on the ground. What if you have a pond on your property and you got a floating house? Can you tax that?
No.
Right.
I don't know.
What if you
That's
put
like
a house on posts? If you put a house on posts, and so animals and livestock can run under it. I mean, can you really tax that as a house that's on the ground if it's on like? Oh, okay. So basically, you got to be on water. Interesting.
So in Illinois, there's all the
On your pond.
they used to do that with the casino things. They would put
Yeah, it
them
was a
out
whole
on the
different
river
jurisdiction.
because it's a different jurisdiction because it's out on the river, so they could gamble because it wasn't on the land.
That's the way it is in
And-
Illinois. Land-based
Illinois.
casinos. I mean, they have boats that are like in the water, and so like in Illinois, like in East Peoria, if you come here, the Paradise, you got to walk onto the boat that doesn't move. It just sits. It used to move. You used to go out on cruises, and they had a time, and you can gamble on it and come back and get off. Now they just got the little walkway, and it's still sitting in the water though. It's anchored, but it's in the water. So very interesting.
Because the water's by DNR. Not by the.
Different jurisdictions and different, yeah. I mean, it is interesting to think about though, to where that's okay, but if we built it on the land, it's not okay to gamble. But you still lost your money.
All the bars that have slots in it. How's that not gambling?
See, they all changed it. They changed the rules now to where it's like everywhere you go in Illinois now, gas stations, any bar, all of them. I mean, every gas station. Well, Casey's doesn't have it, does it? No, they don't have them yet. I mean, but all the other gas stations, I mean, they got a little room where you can go back and play gambling. It's just, hey, give me your money.
Yeah.
It's just like volunteering tax money. Yeah, let me give you your money. Yeah, give the money to the, yeah. I don't know. You choose to play the game, and if you choose to play the game, don't be surprised by the results. Vampire's going to vampire. Just get out of the casino.
Just don't drink cat's blood. That is so disgusting.
Yeah, it's not good. Even on Friday the 13th. I mean, it's just not a good thing. Put the Ouija boards up. Stop. I got a question for you, Lisa. Curious what your answer is on this. I wrote down today. Congress, should we know what all the Congress people vote on? So in other words, should we have a yes or a no vote, and should that be documented? Are we good for that?
It should be on chain.
And I think all of us think that, but in the Constitution, because I had a little awakening moment. I'm like, you know what? In the Constitution, you don't have to have a public vote. And now think about this. Turn this on its head. If our Congress people did not have to go on record and vote, well, then all the PAC money, all the third party money, all the money, it matters to them more, I think, than it does to us. Because if we had an anonymous vote to where it's just a thumbs up, thumbs down, and it's not recorded, it's just a yay or a nay, to where, okay, we got 51%, we don't know what anybody voted, and it passed, I think more things would pass. But since these people are all bought and paid for, they got to vote for those agenda items and show all of the money and all the donors that they're voting for those donors. And they make up all the excuses and all the theater and like the SAFE Act and everything that happened this week. But I think if we had an anonymous vote, like was in the Constitution, you don't have to record the vote unless there's, I think it's 1/5 of the Congress says, okay, we're going to record the vote. But by default, it's basically anonymous. It's like a yay or an nay. I mean, would that change things if nobody knew how nobody could see how their congressperson voted? I mean, we think we hold them accountable, but there's
They
no accountability.
should have to show their vote.
I don't know. It's just an interesting thought when you go through history,
I
though,
think-
that, I mean, there's no pressure on them
They're-
at that
they are
point to where it's like, well, my people aren't watching me. I'm going to vote by conscience now.
Right. but
Whereas if they're
not
watching,
supposed to vote their conscience. They're supposed to vote as a representative of.
they're supposed to, but they don't. And I guess that's the thing. They don't
Right.
at this point. So even though it's on record, I mean, we see it and it's like, you bastard, why did you vote this way? And then we complain and do all this and they get reelected, and how do they get reelected? Because all the money, and why do they stay in there? Because all the money. And I don't know. It's just a thought. Something to think about.
Mhm.
Would it be better to have an anonymous vote or to have it on record?
No, the on-chain vote would be valuable.
Let's
And
put
that's
it
where
out there.
blockchain can change this. And that's where history, that's where history can be changed. Because we've been, I mean, the whole thing, when you look back, there's a lot of people that have looked into, history is written by the victor.
The victors,
Right.
write the history of the victor. To the victor go the spoils.
Right. And so we look at this and then you start looking back into this and there's some dark stuff. And I don't know that we'll ever know the true history until blockchain. And now you look at it and you look into on-chain. And in fact, there's a situation that I'm in right now that it's like, no. We don't have to question things. We don't have to look into he said, she said. Just go to the on-chain data. We don't have to ask and we don't have to have a discussion about this. This is not he said, she said. Just go to the on-chain data. And period. That's the end. And
And I agree with that as long as we can get voting to be as transparent as the votes that the Congress people take. You know what I mean? Our votes need to be all transparently done because Trump brought up a great point and he's right. I got more votes than any sitting president in history. That's a big deal because usually Reagan might have been an exception. Usually what happens in the second term, they get a few less votes because, you're going to piss people off no matter what. No matter what you pass in the first term, somebody's going to get upset with you because you've done something. You've taken action and people are like, oh, I didn't like that. I want to vote for somebody else. I want change because my life is not as good as I think it should be. So I don't want to throw you out. And I get that. That's why term limits are good. But I mean, he made the great point that, he got more votes than Obama got.
Mhm.
And I mean, yeah, there's more people in the country, but not that many more. And then he still got beat by Biden.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. It's like, where do all these extra votes come for? They come from, for that. So
But they just passed something, was it in Georgia or Arizona, where like they have to validate the number of votes going in and the number of votes going out. So it's
well,
like,
that would be a smart thing, right? Why haven't we been doing that, right?
why haven't we been doing that?
Because I mean, they run the thing and they make the rules, and we know a lot of the shenanigans take place, and we've known it since everybody jokes about, well, Kennedy, dead people in Chicago elected Kennedy, and Richard Nixon's all pissed off, I'm never running again, F you all, but I mean, we kind of always known that there's this and that going on. I mean, we've got technology now to prevent that, I would think, and so I'm all for it, absolutely. Make
But
sure
then
it's
we, the
legit.
people, have to start stepping up and saying, we don't get to say, oh, politics, that's none of my business anymore.
Right.
We don't get to stop showing up. We have to
You
start.
got to be engaged. I mean,
have to
it's a
start
republic
voting.
if you can
We
keep it.
have to start saying, like, it is my business,
Mhm.
and
It's
it's my
all
business
your
about
business.
what they're teaching in school and how the water is, processed, and what they're doing with our children, and how the roads are built, and how we have to start
It's your
showing
government. It's your school. You're paying for it. Look at your property tax bill. Most of it goes to the school system. I mean, it's your school.
we have to
start making it
showing
your
up.
school.
And that's where people, they want to say, oh no, I just paid my taxes, and I don't, oh no, those homeless people, and I paid my taxes, and I don't want to have to. Nope, we all have to. So that is the fine line where, like, okay, then we all have to start showing up for everything. We can't say, like, I want my vote to count, but I don't want to have to show up for every single issue. So we all have to show up for every single issue if we want our vote to count.
Yeah.
And I'm in. It's hard work. Trust me. Like, I had to show up for the homeschool mom thing, and it sucks. Trust me. Like, I am busting my ass.
But why do I have to go learn all this stuff now when I
have to
thought
go
I was
learn
paying a
that.
professional to do it?
Latin sucks. Learning Latin sucks. Learning logic, this new math thing sucks. I hate it.
It's
I
horrible.
hate learning grammar. I hate writing. Doing all this work sucks with my kid. I love spending time with my child. I love doing this stuff with my child, but it's a lot of freaking work.
But now I got to be a scientist. I got to be a linguist. I got to be a mathematician. I got to
have
be.
to learn that a threshing brush, what was it called? A threshing brush bird farts to get worms out of the ground to eat them or something. Like, I don't want to know that. I don't even want to know that.
Need a frequency
Things I don't
generator.
want to know.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
There's just things I don't want to know.
yeah.
You deal with electricity too.
Yeah. Man, oh man. Well,
Sing bomb bis.
there's money spent and there's money well spent.
Yes. Anyway, yeah, it's a lot of work, but I also don't want my kid to be like being taught woke stuff and that, anal sex is right and whatever. So
Yeah. How do you identify? Yeah, like to play on light shadow here. How do you identify in the classroom, Lisa?
yeah, I'm not.
What's your pronoun?
Exactly. Like,
What are your pronouns?
so I'm going to learn Latin, and bellum means war, and I'm going to learn how to all the declensions of that in
This
Latin.
makes me belligerent whenever I hear stuff like that.
Yes, it's very difficult, but yeah, it's difficult. But
Yeah.
we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do that together, and we're gonna be, because of that. Like, what's the saying? Westwood, you will be good at this. What's the saying that hard times make strong men? And
Yeah. And weak times, all that.
times
I don't even know the cycle. I
men.
forgot it. I know what it is. I
anyway,
mean,
That's that
It's
saying.
just it's a cycle of life. I mean, and that's what it is. It's just like, rich parents leave money to children. They worked hard to, build a business. They leave it to the kids and they're like, they get a little soft. Okay, the next generation gets really soft because they don't even know how it's built.
No,
They just know they got all
there's
this
a
money.
set-
And pretty
there's a
soon you got
cycle.
weak people. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got a bunch of weak people, and now it's like, okay, they create the hard times again. And so now we need strong people to stand forth in these hard times to reset the whole thing.
So Chrysler Motors right now, Chrysler Motors is an 80-year-old man, 80-plus-year-old man. And he said he is trying to buy back Chrysler Motors right now because he said Chrysler Motors has gone woke and has destroyed what his I don't know, I may be saying too many greats, but his great-great-grandfather, and I can't remember the name, my husband knows the name of the family, has destroyed, Chrysler Motors has destroyed.
Yeah, we all fell out of an Iowa coconut tree.
Yes,
Iacocca
what
used to be
his
there.
family started with Chrysler Motors, and he's like,
Right.
I
You
want
take
to
it public, it gets watered down, and now the agenda's changed because we need to apply all these different standards because that's the way it
big
needs to be.
corporation has gone woke and
Yeah.
destroyed what the American dream was of.
And so you take it private again, like Elon did. You take
Yes.
it private, and then now you can control it. And so you're going to see that move. And, again, that cycle repeats itself. It'll start going private because it's like, you know what? We're not going to follow these stupid rules anymore. We're going to do it our way. And that's just the way it's going to be. And, if you don't violate the rights of people, that's fine. It's not to say that, you can do everything you want. No, I can bring in slaves. No, that's not what they're saying. They're saying all this BS that people are extrapolating out, and creating and overlaying onto this, real work system, with your illusionary theoretical system, that's got to go away. And so they're going to go private, and a lot of us should look into forming private organizations, private membership associations, things like that, and just say, okay,
PMAs.
we'll exit out.
And so we've been talking about that kind
We're going
of
to
stuff.
smoke inside because we don't have to follow the rules.
Yep. What's so funny is we were at a restaurant the other day, and I guess they have like a dry county.
Yeah.
And
There's
so
still those.
we ordered a beer, and the little girl brought us a beer or whatever. And then she came over with a book and she's like, made us sign our name. And I was like, she was like, well, because we're a club.
Exactly.
And so you're a private member association. Yep. And so you sign this book and then you're part of the member association. And I was like, oh.
Yes.
And I was like, can I read up on this first?
Yes, there are laws, and that's the thing, the whole jurisdictional thing that you to really get into, and everybody needs to look into that, because if you're on private property,
there
are laws that apply to the public, but you're not public.
And that's what she said. She said, we're a private member.
Just like this. I mean, you can't, not that this is a good thing, but you can't smoke in a restaurant. However, if you got a private membership association to where you come in, you sign, it's like a cigar club. You go in, you can smoke indoors. Well, you can't smoke indoors there. Why can't I smoke indoors at Margaritaville? Well, yeah, it's different. We fall under these rules. But here's a private membership association, a little cigar club over here. You go in, you sign in, boom, here's your cigar, and you can sit around, smoke, and choke yourself out. What are they going to do about it? Nothing.
Free will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your own deal.
All right. Well, I am about to go join my private member association. If you guys would like to support our work,
there you go. Keep it up there.
There is my Litecoin address. If you would like to make a donation, I would appreciate it.
Screen capture that. Everybody snap a screen capture right now. Save that. And then, you can always do it later when you bust open your cold wallet and send a little donation to the lovely Litecoin Lisa to support everything she's doing.
And appreciation. I would appreciate it. And I'm trying to figure out the whole thing to do, like the private Zoom call chat thing for Westwood and I before we do the Twitter Spaces. So you guys are awesome. And no, I don't accept our XRP because that's got some bad juju.
It's got the same chart as Litecoin right now, though.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's very interesting when you compare it. It's like identical.
Okay, well, so everyone has
Choose your
freedom,
path.
your own choices, choose your own path. But I would be very appreciative of any Litecoin donations.
Sound money for the digital age,
Tip.
baby.
Some tips. I'm using the term tips because
Tips.
no tax on tips.
Tip me, baby. Tip me harder.
So anyway, I'm grateful for all of you guys. I can't wait to see any and all of you in Illinois.
10-4, good, baby. That's what it is, 10-4.
10-4. We'll see you guys there. Grateful for all of you guys. I will see you there in Illinois, Metamora, Illinois, the place where Lincoln set a lady free by lowering her out of courthouse second-story building to get a good drink of water. We'll see you there. Take care.